Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our attendees today from wherever you're joining us. We are excited to be sharing with you this launch event today, focused on enabling pharmaceutical education and science transformation with a focus on the Eastern Mediterranean region, and to also share the launch of the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence. My name is Dr. Desireh, and I serve FIP as the UNITWIN and Provision Program Manager. And today I'll be co-moderating this session with my colleague, Dr. Hanadi, who will introduce herself and take us through some of the brief housekeeping rules that we have. Hanadi, over to you.
Thank you very much, Genuine. Hello, everyone. My name is Hanadi Alolimi. I am the UNITWIN and Provision Program Coordinator at FIP. It's a great pleasure today and honor to be part of this important event. So next slide, please, Genuine. Before we begin, I would like to share a few housekeeping announcements. This webinar is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube. If any of your colleagues are unable to attend today, they will be able to access the recording later. The recording will be available on our website at www.events.fib.org. You are welcome to ask questions at any time using the question box provided on Zoom. We will address as many as possible during the Q&A session. We will also invite you to share your feedback with us at webinars@fib.org. And finally, if you are not yet a member, we encourage you to become a member of FIB by visiting www.fib.org/membership_registration. And we would be delighted to have you join our global pharmacy community. In the next slide, I will for our international participants, we are pleased to let you know that live translation captions are available on Zoom. There are just 3 simple steps to enable them. Step 1 is to turn on captions by clicking the CC icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Step 2 is to enable the translation toggle under Captions and Translation. Step 3 is to choose your preferred language under My Caption Language. Once you have selected your language, you will be able to follow along easily with live translated captions throughout the event. If you face any technical issues, please reach out in the chat box and we will be happy to assist you. Next slide, please. Next slide, Genuine. Thank you. Here we have our great panel of speakers representing a global network of leaders in pharmacy education and science. They are all coming together to support transformation and collaboration through the launch of the Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region. We will be introducing each of our speakers separately throughout the session, and we will allow you to learn more about their work and the unique perspectives they bring to this important event. Next slide. By the end of this session, participants, you will be able to first explain the purpose, vision, and strategic priorities of the new Eastern Mediterranean Center for Excellence, what it aims to achieve, and how it aligns with the FIP global missions to advance pharmacy worldwide. Second is to identify the key challenges, emerging need, and priority actions for our region, drawing on insights from existing FIP Global Pharmaceutical Observatory data and the EMR Strategic Roadmap Insight Board report. Third, we will recognize the existing stakeholders and partners already working within the region and highlight successful regional best practices that can inspire and guide future initiatives. And finally, outline the next practical steps for engaging with the Center for Excellence and contributing to regional initiatives, including opportunities for FIP academic institutional members and other partners. The next slide, here's a quick overview of our event program. We will begin with the introductions from myself and my co-moderator, Genuine, followed by opening remarks from FIP CEO, Dr. Catherine Duggan. And then we will hear from Professor John Pieper, who will provide an overview of the UNITWIN program and the Eastern Mediterranean region strategic roadmap. After that, Professor Lilian Azzopardi will give us an insight into the academic institutional membership, and Professor Rula Darwish will officially launch the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region. We will then move into our panel discussion on how collaboration, networking, and educational development are driving pharmaceutical education and science transformation across the region. Finally, closing remarks will be delivered by Dr. Dalia Badges. And with that, I would like now to hand over to my colleague, Genuine, to provide us with a brief snapshot of our journey in enabling pharmaceutical education and science transformation. Thank you very much, Genuine, and back to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Hanadi, and for covering those really important housekeeping rules. I'd like to start by sort of setting the context before I welcome our CEO to share her opening remarks. And today we are gathered to continue a journey that started over a decade ago. Just for context, the UNITWIN program began with the Center for Excellence in Africa, which has been the foundation and has developed key resources that still support and guide the UNITWIN program to date. Thereafter, we launched the Center for Excellence in the Southeast Asia region and the Western Pacific region in 2023 and 2024, respectively. These launches built on our renewed agreement with UNESCO, and these two centers for excellence quickly followed the stride set by the African Center for Excellence and are already developing resources that are impacting academic capacity, patient safety, and competency development in their regions. The success thus far is or can be attributed to the efforts that volunteers from all our aims have put in, and the unwavering commitment that they have to transform pharmaceutical education and science in their regions. Of course, we are now on track to launch the remaining centers for excellence this year, and we are starting this journey with the Eastern Mediterranean Center for Excellence today. As we shall hear from our CEO, our speakers and panelists today, the UNITWIN program is a one-of-a-kind program that is designed to deliver meaningful and measurable outcomes that align with both our regional priorities as well as the broader FIP strategic plan. We look forward to all our interested institutions within this region joining the existing centers for excellence. And of course, this is aimed at broadening the impact that this initiative is going to have. At this point, I am delighted to welcome our CEO, Catherine Duggan, to share a few opening remarks before we move on to our speakers for the day. Over to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Genuine. A real delight to be here with you today. And I know I'm going to be with you for the first half hour to an hour, but I look forward to seeing the progress from this great initiative. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Catherine Duggan. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the International Pharmaceutical Federation. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you all today as we mark this significant milestone in transforming pharmaceutical education and sciences across the Eastern Mediterranean region. We're launching the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean, which is a moment that reflects many years of shared commitment and collaboration and endeavour. The UNITWIN programme has been a remarkable journey, as Genuine said, starting from the first centre set up in the African region, being the only global body with this relationship with UNESCO. And I say that again, the only global body from any profession with this relationship. We really want to maximize our impact. And we've seen the profound benefits of creating the platform for twinning universities to exchange knowledge, adapt pharmaceutical education and sciences to the emerging regional needs and priorities, and to transform education and science globally. So we're building on the success of the first Centre for Excellence in Africa. We then launched the Southeast Asian Centre in October 2023, and in May 2024, we launched the Western Pacific Centre, bringing academic institutions to work collectively on pharmacy, education and science. Of course, today, the Eastern Mediterranean region is at a pivotal stage of reform in pharmaceutical education and science, driven by the rapid increase in pharmacist production capacity and the need to address critical gaps in workforce planning, regulation, alignment between education and health practice needs. The region also has had to quickly adapt to pharmacy education and science in response to conflict, crises, and a heavy humanitarian burden. The FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Centre for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region will therefore act as a regional hub to unite and support FIP academic institutional members, what we call in FIP our aims, and partners, providing an evidence-based and systematic approach to strengthening education, science, and practice in alignment with our agreement and UNESCO's 2023 to 2027 agreement. Based upon the lessons of the 2025 FIP UNESCO UNITWIN Strategic Insight Board report and linked to global efforts through our collective FIP development goals, the Centre is designed to empower academic institutions to meet current and future educational challenges in the region. It's really important for us all to recognise that the Centres for Excellence serve as a focus and a primary mechanism for establishing the FIP regional footprint in pharmaceutical science and education, and to champion FIP's priorities, initiatives, and strategy at the regional level, in collaboration with our regional pharmaceutical forums and other key FIP stakeholders on relevant pharmaceutical science and education matters. We see this as real twinning, universities with universities, but the Centres for Excellence championing and leading education and science, and the regional forums championing and leading practice and policy. Neither two can do that alone, so collaboration between the two are going to be super important. And these initiatives and priorities are anchored in FIP's strategic plan for 2025 to 2030. And as I have said, they're guided by our shared development goals. As we look to the future with that strategic plan in mind, I encourage everyone here to consider how you can engage with this centre and contribute to its success. And through that, you're contributing to FIP's success. Together, let us recognise the extraordinary potential of working collaboratively to transform health through pharmacy education. With your expertise, your commitment, your cooperation, and your Eastern Mediterranean spirit, I am confident that the Eastern Mediterranean Centre for Excellence will become an inspiration for innovation and progress in pharmacy education and science worldwide. So thanks so much, Genuine. Thanks to the team, Dalia and Hanadi with you, and to all of our leaders globally and regionally in the Eastern Mediterranean and beyond. I look forward to the fruitful discussions and inspiring contributions that will follow today. And I wish you luck as we work towards achieving this endeavour, shoulder to shoulder. Thanks a million.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for those great opening remarks. And it really sets us well for the next step of this launch event. It's now my pleasure to welcome Dr. John Pieper. John is the president and professor emeritus at the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis, Missouri, where he served from 2010 to 2021. He has served as well at the American College of Clinical Pharmacy, at the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, as well as the American Pharmacists Association. He has also recently concluded his service as the president of the academic pharmacy section and is the current chair of FIP Education. John is going to share with us a more in-depth overview of the UNITWIN program and the journey it has taken to get us here. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Genuine. It's a great privilege to be here with colleagues from the Eastern Mediterranean. And as Dr. Duggan has described, this is a historic day for FIP, and we're delighted that so many of you have joined us for this historic launch. If you could, next slide, please. Just a follow-up to the words from Dr. Duggan a minute ago. FIP has this unique collaboration with UNESCO, and that UNESCO is an acronym for the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization that really provides for collaboration across the 194 member countries of the United Nations. This UNITWIN or twinning program really began in 1992 as the UNESCO Chairs Program, which was the forerunner of the UNITWIN program, which fostered international inter-university cooperation across 120 countries. The vision of the UNESCO UNITWIN program is to advance research training and curriculum development in education by building university networks or twins and encouraging inter-university cooperation. The mission then is to provide a platform for FIP education, science, and practice to implement FIP's global pharmaceutical education and workforce strategies. By using and positioning faculty, schools, and colleges of pharmacy in our global network as centers of excellence and innovation to contribute to the development of science education at the national, regional, and international level. Next slide. The program objectives, so that's the vision and mission. The program objectives are to lead educational and scientific transformation and promote global collaboration to address sustainability, inequities, and technology in pharmaceutical education by establishing centers of excellence in all of the WHO regions around the world. Secondly, to enhance an integrated system of research, training, information, and documentation activities in global pharmacy education, addressing important issues like academic capacity, quality assurance, workforce competency, equality, and other areas. Third set of objectives is to closely work with UNESCO and other UNESCO chairs and UNITWIN networks on relevant programs and activities. And finally, of course, is to contribute to the global health improvement through this twinning process. Next slide. So the FIP priorities have recently been identified in our new strategic plan that was approved earlier this fall in Copenhagen by our council at our World Congress. And the priorities for FIP for the 5 years coming up, and I think it's important to keep these in mind as you're thinking about how you can implement these strategies in the Eastern Mediterranean, are global health priorities around issues like patient safety, non-communicable diseases, universal health care, digital transformation, sexual and reproductive health, and emergency preparedness. Secondarily, to work on the WHO Global Workforce Strategy for 2030, which is developing and expanding workforce for health programs, self-care, and human resources across regions in the world. The FIP UNESCO UNITWIN is one of the FIP priorities, and it's really to, as I've mentioned, to continue to work on global pharmacy education and developmental objectives across the 6 WHO regions, focusing on gender equity, as we've talked about, humanitarian curriculum, patient safety, falsified and safe medication use, and other areas that we'll talk about in a minute. To look at the FIP priority programs, regional forum priorities, and FIP calls to action. So these are the priorities for FIP over the next 5 years. Next slide, Genuine. A little bit of the history of the UNITWIN program, as it was mentioned both by Genuine and Dr. Duggan. In 2010, FIP first established this relationship with UNESCO and launched the Center for Excellence in Africa. In 2014, we reached FIP and UNESCO reached an agreement and renewed our UNITWIN relationship to focus on global pharmacy education development, which we're doing here today. In 2016, a historic conference was held in Nanjing, China, to really focus on and deliver for the first time a global conference on pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences, competencies, and education. And those Nanjing statements continue to be a guiding light worldwide for pharmacy education. We're coming up on the 10th anniversary of that conference, and there's been an update to the competencies as well. In 2018, there was a needs assessment that was done for the Center of Excellence in Africa, and a strategic meeting for the center in Lagos, Nigeria. 2019, progress again continues in Africa with more meetings and a decision to move towards the development of an African-wide Association of Schools of Pharmacy. In 2020, FIP launched a report on competency and educational needs in sub-Saharan Africa. Next slide, please. 2021 saw the launch of the first UNITWIN Pathfinder Toolkit with regional roadmaps, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the 2021 regional roadmap for the Eastern Mediterranean in just a moment. In 2021 and 2022, there were virtual regional workshops, as I said, to really establish these roadmaps. In 2022, FIP launched a toolkit for addressing inequities in pharmacy education and established a task force for setting up the African-wide association. 2023 saw, again, a renewal of our agreement with UNESCO for 2023 to 2027, which is the agreement that we're in with UNESCO currently. And again, our commitment was to launch UNITWIN regional centers of excellence like the Eastern Mediterranean across all the WHO regions, and to establish this African Association of Schools of Pharmacy. And as was mentioned in 2023, the second UNITWIN Center was launched in Southeast Asia. In 2024, the UNITWIN Center of Excellence in the Western Pacific was launched. Global Competency Framework was completed for pharmacy education in Southeast Asia. And in 2025, as Genuine has mentioned, our commitment is to develop and launch centers in the remaining 3 areas of the Eastern Mediterranean, the Americas region, and in Europe. Next slide, Genuine. So a little bit about this 2021 roadmap for the Eastern Mediterranean region that I mentioned earlier. So there were these roadmaps developed across all 6 regions. They've been updated, but I'm going to start back with the 2021 roadmap before we talk about the 2025 update. So these roadmaps were developed by consensus discussions that were held by pharmacy leaders, educators, scientists, and practitioners in the Eastern Mediterranean in 2021. And the 3 objectives that rose to the top for the Eastern Mediterranean were competency development, and with an objective to develop a competency framework for pharmacists to expand their scope of practice and adopt this framework through an implementation of policies. The second area was to work on continuing professional development with the objective to promote continuing professional development for pharmacists and the strategies to do that, and a self-directed learning at the undergraduate level. And the third area was leadership development, which is our development goal 6, with an objective to support regional development of leadership skills for academics, students, pharmacists, and pharmaceutical scientists. There was a call to action for each of these, as shown in the right-hand column here. For competency development, it was to form a working group that will host workshops to spread awareness of competency, invite key regional leaders together. For CPD was to build on existing FIP, continuing professional development resources, and for leadership development was again to build on existing resources. This 2021 roadmap has since been updated. Next slide, please, Genuine. From a 2025 FIP Insight Board, which again looked at the data and the insights from 2021 and updated these to 2025. This is in the new FIP Insight Report for 2025 that identified key challenges as well as needs and goals. The key challenges that were identified for the Eastern Mediterranean were gaps, again, as was noted in earlier in 2021, in continuous professional development programs, limited competencies and leadership development opportunities for young academics, for students, and for pharmacists transitioning in their careers, a lack of advanced and specialist qualification network, which was identified as a need and a desire for the Eastern Mediterranean, insufficient integration of digital health, including AI and other strategies in educational programs and in professional development, inconsistent faculty development, and limited collaborative research across the universities and faculties and schools of pharmacy in the Eastern Mediterranean. These were the key challenges that you and your colleagues identified. Next slide. The needs and priorities, therefore, and we're going to talk about this in the panel discussion some, but the needs and priorities that were identified by the Insight Board earlier this year, again, was to expand and enhance continuing professional development programs, to strengthen competencies, again, which is similar to the 2021 finding, to establish qualification frameworks for advanced and specialist roles, to increase focus on digital health, implement comprehensive faculty development initiatives, and enhance regional and collaborative research. Next slide, please. So with that, I think that sets the stage. Thank you, Genuine. That sets the stage for us to have our panel discussion following our next presentation by Dr. Azzopardi. So thank you all. I look forward to a brisk conversation during our panel discussion about these challenges as well as needs and priorities in the Eastern Mediterranean. Back to you, Genuine.
Thanks, John, for that very comprehensive overview of the UNITWIN program and, of course, the vision that we have for the Eastern Mediterranean Center for Excellence. Now, I'd like to welcome Professor Azzopardi. Just to mention before I share her bio is that the building blocks for each of our centers for excellence are the academic institutions. And of course, these academic institutions are keen on addressing pharmaceutical education and science challenges in their countries, in their states, and in their regions. These academic institutions, of course, are members of FIP under the AIM category, or the Academic Institutional Membership category. And of course, I'm pleased to say that Professor Lilian Azzopardi is the chair of FIP-AIM. Lilian is also a professor of pharmacy and head of department of pharmacy at the University of Malta. And she is the chairperson of the faculty's doctoral committee as well. She's spearheaded very many major developments in pharmacy education, particularly in pharmacy practice, clinical pharmacy, and pharmacy practice research. Lilian, the floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen, and please excuse my croaky voice because I'm going out from a laryngitis. It's really nice and and I'm feeling good vibes with being with you together. And a warm welcome from the AIM group, which actually is the global institutional membership for schools of pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences, specifically for today's occasion, I also have the pleasure to note that around 25% of the schools of pharmacy which are members in AIM are actually coming from the Eastern Mediterranean region. So warm welcome to you, and I also look forward to welcome others to join us so that the insights, experiences that you will be sharing also through this UNITWIN activity can be also coming in within the AIM group, because in this way, by sharing and having insights from all the regions, this is how the global pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences, education and research can actually progress. In the next slide, if we can, yes, in the next slide, we have the highlight of the strategy for FIP AIM membership, which relies on 3 C's, where as an AIM member, schools of pharmacy benefit from participating and engaging in areas of concentration that are relevant to current activities in schools of pharmacy developments, communication between members and within FIP, as well as serving as a platform to establish collaborations for projects and other academic activities. And in the next slide, the next few slides, actually, I will be sharing with you some examples of how this strategy leads to the deliverables and the benefits of being an AIM member. Over here, you have an example of annual reports that are released from AIM. This year, in 2025, we have released a very intensive report sharing examples from AIM members of pathways to promote research and postgraduate education in the diverse areas of pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences. And this is an experience to showcase and give to AIM, and also receive, as we receive, all of us, ideas from our colleagues within AIM. This year, in the next slide, this year we have also strengthened AIM membership benefits through webinars. And we have diverse setup of webinars. The first webinar that you have the photo on the screen was actually a discussion led. It was a structured, informal conversation amongst AIM members, sharing insights into their experiences, their models, and some aspects of new and entrepreneurship activities for advancing research and postgraduate education. In a couple of weeks' time, in the next slide, you will see an AIM member webinar also that is more structured in providing information related to EPAs and how these and how we can approach these, some experiences and some reflections coming from different parts of the world. And the next slide shares our very recent experience as the AIM group through the annual FIP Congress. Every year, AIM organizes a specific leaders forum. This year, the topic that was approached related to entrepreneurship and collaboration, and you can see some of the AIM advisory group together with myself, together with Genuine and John Pieper and past chair Pierre Moreau, recognizing our AIM advisory group, and also with the speakers from the United States and the United Kingdom, sharing experiences. And actually also of interest is that during these Gulf sessions, we also provide space for the UNITWIN centers to share activities and updates. And this year we had Paul Gallagher presenting the very active work that's being done in their UNITWIN region. And in the final slide, final 2 slides, I would like to invite you to connect with FIP. There's the QR code on the screen. To please update the data about your school within AIM activities and FIPED. FIP holds a word list of pharmacy schools. For AIM members, there is space to include more details. So I invite you to go through updates as your activities and your information and maybe your research areas expand, to keep this updated, because it's a way to connect within FIP and for AIM members to be able to highlight the areas that you would like to be involved in more. And I have a last slide, which is related to a recent initiative that has been launched a week ago. AIM also has a newsletter which brings together updates from the activities within AIM, and it also exposes within FIP-Ed activity information, opportunities for all of us to come together and connect, as the newsletter in fact is named, to provide information about pharmacy education, science, and research and practice. So I do invite you, and I do look forward. I know many of you have already had the opportunity to interact with FIP and specifically with AIM, but I do look forward to keep in touch with you as you embark on this UNITWIN Eastern Mediterranean region, and also to embark with the schools for your contribution and being part of AIM. So thank you for that, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this webinar.
Excellent, and thanks, Lilian, for giving us that comprehensive overview of AIM membership and its benefits. If you're not an AIM member yet, you can see some of the benefits that our AIM members enjoy. Now, for the moment that we've been waiting for, it's now my honor to welcome Professor Rula, one of the co-chairs for the Center for Excellence that we're launching today in the Eastern Mediterranean. Of course, she will be supported by Professor Mohamad Rahal, who I shall introduce later. Just to point out that the co-chairs play a very critical role in guiding the center to prioritize, collaborate, and achieve the set objectives that we have in alignment with the regional priorities, as well as FIP's strategic plan. So besides her role as the co-chair, Professor Rula is also a professor in pharmaceutical microbiology at the School of Pharmacy at the University of Jordan. She's also the dean of the School of Pharmacy there. She's served as a global lead for Development Goal 9, which is on continuous professional development, and has been a great active member within FIP. Over to you, Professor Rula, to officially launch the center.
Thank you very much, Genuine. Greetings, dear colleagues. It is with great pride and enthusiasm that we mark today the official launch of the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region, a transformative initiative that reflects our shared commitment to advancing pharmaceutical education, practice, and research through the region. The milestone represents a powerful step forward in regional collaboration and capacity building, uniting academic institutions, professional bodies, and health organizations under a common purpose. Through this center, we aspire to promote academic excellence, expand equitable access to high-quality pharmaceutical education, and cultivate a skilled, resilient pharmacy workforce equipped to address global and regional health challenges. On behalf of all partners, I extend my sincere appreciation to the FIP and the UNESCO for their vision and leadership in making the center a reality. As co-chair, I am deeply inspired by the dedication of our collaborators across the region and internationally. Together, we are laying the foundation for long-term impact, nurturing leadership, driving innovation, and shaping the future of pharmacy in the Eastern Mediterranean and beyond. Next slide, please, Genuine. As part of this exciting launch, we are proud to unveil the unique logo and branding of the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region. The logo reflects the center's identity and mission, symbolizing unity, innovation, and excellence in advancing pharmacy education and practice across the region. Its design integrates the collaborative spirit of the FIP-UNESCO partnership and the shared aspiration of our regional network under the UNITWIN initiative. This distinctive logo will serve as a visual representation of our collective commitment to excellence and cooperation. It will be available to all members of the center and may be used for non-commercial purposes in alignment with the FIP guidelines on the use of the logos and visual identity. Through this shared logo, we celebrate our regional identity while strengthening our connection to the global FIP-UNESCO community, united in purpose, driven by excellence, and inspired by impact. Next slide, please, Genuine. Now, the coming slides present representative universities that have enthusiastically accepted the invitation to join the center. Each institution brings distinct strength to the network, that means areas where they already excel, and identifies domains where they wish to grow and benefit from the collective expertise. This synergy is the true essence of the UNITWIN framework: mutual learning and shared advancement. Al-Quds University is one of the oldest and largest Palestinian universities, with a strong faculty of pharmacy offering BSc and MSc programs and a forthcoming PhD. It has extensive collaboration with hospitals and pharmaceutical industries and strong research capacities in clinical pharmacy, pharmacology, and microbiology. At the same time, the university looks forward to leveraging the center's resources to future develop in digital pharmacy transformation and regional collaborative research, reinforcing its leadership role through knowledge exchange within the network. Also, the school looks for enhancing AI-driven health research and building sustainable infrastructure for education and equity in access. Next slide, please, Genuine. Al-Nasser University in Yemen stands out for its strong academic pharmacy programs, active research in clinical and pharmaceutical sciences, and proven experience in digital health and e-learning. With its solid links to local healthcare system and commitment to social accountability, it exemplifies resilience and innovation in challenging settings. Al-Nasser University aims to benefit from curriculum harmonization, enhanced digital transformation support, and regional collaboration to promote competency-based and community-focused pharmacy education across the Eastern Mediterranean region. Next slide, please, Genuine. The Gulf Medical University in UAE has a distinctive academic health system model integrating education, clinical practice, and research within one ecosystem. The university has strong clinical training, infrastructure, and innovation, interprofessional curriculum that foster early exposure, research engagement, and entrepreneurship. Its multicultural and collaborative learning environment further enhance inclusivity and student well-being. Through the Center for Excellence, Gulf Medical University aims to expand AI-driven and digitally enhanced pharmacy education, strengthen global mobility and professional development frameworks, and advance green and sustainable pharmacy practice, ensuring that innovation, lifelong learning, and environmental responsibility remain central to pharmacy education across the region. Next slide, please, Genuine. Applied Science Private University in Jordan is known for its strong research culture characterized by diverse scientific topics, high-quality postgraduate programs, and extensive international collaborations. The university also offers a well-structured field training program that provides close follow-up and practical exposure for its students. Through the Center for Excellence, ASU aims to strengthen advanced pharmaceutical research partnership, build closer ties with industry, and expand regional mobility and experiential education learning opportunities. That means further integrating academic excellence with practical innovation-driven training across the EMR. Next slide, please. Ajman University in UAE stands out for its accredited competency-based pharmacy program that emphasizes clinical practice, patient-centered care, and community engagement. With internationally trained faculty, strong research output, and a culture of quality assurance, the university maintains high academic standards supported by modern laboratories and digital learning platforms. Through the Center for Excellence, Ajman University aims to strengthen interprofessional education and global partnership, embed digital health and AI application into teaching and practice, and collaboration on regional benchmarking systems that enhance performance and innovation. The university also seeks to further align its educational and outreach efforts with sustainable and social accountability goals, advancing the AMR's shared vision for impactful, future-ready pharmacy education. Next slide, please, Genuine. So together, these distinguished universities form the backbone of our FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Each institution contributes unique strengths from clinical and industrial pharmacy expertise to leadership in education, quality, and innovation. Through this collaboration platform, we aim to foster regional progress in key areas such as digital learning, research excellence, and global partnership. This initiative truly reflects the spirit of the UNITWIN program: learning together, advancing together, and excelling together. We also hope that more universities in the region will be more inspired to join this important effort, especially as we build on early success stories that demonstrate the power of collaboration and shared commitment. I sincerely thank all our partners for their dedication and shared vision, and now hand it over to our moderator to continue the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Rula. Couldn't have said it any better than that. Truly, you've represented what it means to be part of the UNITWIN program and to join this network.
Thank you.
Great. We now have an exciting panel of distinguished experts in pharmaceutical education and science within the Eastern Mediterranean region as well as globally. And I'll invite our moderator today, Professor Mohamad Rahal, who is the Dean for the School of Pharmacy at the Lebanese International University, with long and rich experience in pharmacy education, program development, school management, pharmacy research and practice, accreditation, and quality standards development. Professor Rahal has also been a FIP-AIM advisory committee member. He's also a member of several regional associations of colleges of pharmacy, as well as part of the Lebanese National Pharmacy Accreditation Committee. Professor Rahal, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Genuine. Hello, everyone. And it is now we come to the major part of this event. We'll hear to our distinguished presenters about the FIP education, AIM, and the launching of the Center for Excellence. And now we welcome our distinguished panelists to this panel discussion. I will introduce only those who were not introduced so far. I will start with Professor Abir Al-Ghananim. She is an academic leadership fellow of the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, and she is currently the Dean of the School of Pharmacy at Ajman University. Also, Dr. Wael Ali, he is a global pharmacy leader with advocate to pharmacy practice and education in the region, and he's currently serving the president of the FIP, Eastern Mediterranean Pharmaceutical Forum. Also, Professor Giovanni Paolitti, he's a professor in biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics, and the Dean of Research and Graduate Studies at the University of Health Sciences and Pharmacy in St. Louis, USA. Also, our panelist, Dr. Nadia Al-Mazroui, she is a professor in pharmacy practice. She's at the University of Sharjah, and she is the chairman of the Experiential Training Committee. Dr. Nadia Mazroui was recently elected as a vice president for FIP, and she served as a past president for the East Mediterranean Pharmaceutical Forum. So our distinguished panelists have rich and extensive experience in pharmacy education, pharmacy practice, and pharmaceutical science. I will start our discussion. Before we start the discussion, I will ask all the participants, they are all welcome. If they have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, any ideas they want to share with us, they can use the Q&A box to share their ideas. I will start my first question. I will direct this question to Dr. Wael and Dr. Abir Al-Ghananim from the region. Can you, from your position and in your review, can you please tell us what are the unique pharmaceutical education needs and the challenges in the Eastern Mediterranean region, and how can the new Center for Excellence in the region play a role in addressing these needs and the challenges? Dr. Wael, you can start.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Rahal. But ladies first, I guess. But let me do this. Thank you so much for this amazing project, first of all. And I guess you made my day. You know, I found like more than 540 or something attendance for this meeting. Can you imagine in our area in the Emerald Farm, we have 242 universities only. So I'm so proud to be with this meeting, encouraging with my colleagues here in the Middle East and even outside Middle East, from Africa, I see from Brasilia. So good morning from here from Egypt to Brasilia. Good afternoon for the Middle East. Good evening for our colleagues from Asia. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Professor Dr. John. Thank you, Professor Dr. Giovanni, Professor Dr. Lilian, Professor Dr. Nadia, Professor Dr. Rula, Professor Dr. Mohamad Rahal. You know, I don't want to forget anybody because you are my professor already. And thank you for FIP staff today. It's amazing. I'm so excited because, you know, finally we found something like umbrella for academic part staff. AIM, it's a very important issue. It's like natural gate to be in this umbrella. AIM, it means academic institutional members. You know, this is like umbrella, collect all of us for one platform. So finally, uni, it means united. Twin, it means twins. We are schools of pharmacy with twins. And finally, we find something like united umbrella. Collect all of us, Dr. Rula. We did it like amazing, let's say the meeting. The first meeting was in Jordan, you know, and Dr. Rahal was us, Dr. Nadia was us, a member organization. It was like a Jordanian pharmacist what that syndicate. And we did it like, 20 universities in Jordan. All of them signed we need to be AIM member and we need to be in this program. This program, finally, we found something like collaboration. We need some collaboration. We have like a marvelous scientist. We have like marvelous researchers in the Middle East, I see. in Middle East, we almost like 20 countries, Dr. Rahal. You know, we are Lebanon, Jordanian, Palestinian, Pakistan. You know, I don't want to forget anything. Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Iran, Iraq, Bahrain, Syria, Emeritus, right? Qatar. I guess we all here. We all here. I'm so proud. Morocco, Tunisia. I'm sorry for that. Libya. So all of these universities, all of these countries, we will make one platform finally. As Dr. John, he said, we missed something in, and thank you so much for this, research. You are a great researcher already. So it's very important. We missed something. It's a very important gap. We missed the connections in our area. We missed something like a digital health. How can we connect this? Dr. Rula, she said something, it's a very marvelous. If we will make like a platform for all the universities over the world, even from Center of Excellence in Middle East, and even in the other region. So if I'm in Brazil right now, university, so I will make like advertising. Yes, I have this, so I can, share with you this research. I need researcher here. And at the same time, we need to exchange students from Malta to Lebanon, from America to Asia, to Indonesia, to even Africa. You know what I mean? It was like a dream, how to connect. We have a marvelous already professors, but the only thing we need connections. And this is a very important issue. Second thing, accreditation. Accreditation, all the people, even the Middle East here, we're starting to make like accreditation, how to be on the same page. And the marvelous project we started since FIP-UNESCO, since 3 years. This is a marvelous professor. His name is Rahal, as he was used to the FIP-UNESCO. He started something like list of schools of pharmacy over the world. If you will find your name, your school name in FIP, so you will be accredited. You know what I mean? You will be well-known school. And this is a very important issue. So international accreditation, it's very important for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Wael. Dr. Abir, Professor Abir, if you can share with us your perspective and view about the needs and challenges of our region.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rahal. Thank you, everybody. Can you see me, guys? I don't know, for some reason.
Yes, now we can see you.
Yay, finally. Well, I think after Ayman, there's nothing to say, mashallah. He covers very well the whole area, and he had a charisma to present. Nice to have you, Dr. Wael, and everybody. Definitely, there are a lot of challenges in the region, especially with pharma education, and the Center for Excellence will have an impact, a global impact on those areas of challenges, trying to bring the education of pharma and practice up to standards and highlight more the ambition of the people to raise the profession and the practices within the profession. Accreditation is something to always look at and ensure that quality improvement is there. Having a quality improvement and looking into accreditation from a national as well as international levels will definitely add to the pharmacy practice and to the education system. A lot of schools of pharmacy in the region have been accredited at a local level as well as at a global level, and that speaks well for the faculty members, the administration, the people in the practice, as well as the pharmacy associations within the region. The center will definitely have an impact, and more into the IPE perspective. We are now talking about patient-centered care, where you need to have a lot of people within the team, the healthcare team, to be having to work together toward the patient diagnostics, treatment, and follow-up later on. And from interprofessional education, it's a standard that everybody's looking at. Definitely having a UNITWIN Center of Excellence in the EMR region will have a global vision on the interprofessional education and be able to collect people with that practice and with that venue to be able to work together to enhance the practices among the healthcare providers. One more thing also
enhancing the global partnership, because everybody's working, and one of the challenges is to have channels of communications and connection within the universities. You will have a lot of active members working from here and there. Having a center that will work as a hub to bring people with the mindset to help the practice and help the education, because one of the challenges that we always face is the between practice and education. You want to connect those venues together. You want to make sure that your practices in the job market fits well with your graduates. And I can tell you now, people who are coming to first year in pharmacy programs, by the time they graduate, the job market will change. We're not talking nowadays about changes in a yearly basis or in a decade. We're talking about changes in a much more faster fashion with AI and ChatGPT and practices that enhance the pharmacy and pharmacy education. So having that center as a hub will have a good impact to bring those people together, work together, and try to connect education level with the needs for the market. And I think at this stage, I'll stop to give others chances to intervene. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Abir. During the process of preparing for this Center for Excellence, we identified our strength in the area is diversity in pharmacy education and pharmacy practice and pharmacy research. The area is rich in pharmacy research, mainly scientific research. And this center is a platform for collaboration for all institutions. I invite all institutions, academic institutions, scientific institutions in pharmacy education and practice to join this Center for Excellence. It is a virtual center. It's not a physical center. Let's make it clear. Everyone is welcome to participate and collaborate in this center. Thank you, Abir and Wael, for your perspectives. I will move to the second question for our great panelists, John, Lilian, and Giovanni, and also Dr. Nadia, all of you. In your view, and from your position in the FIP as FIP-Ed, or Giovanni is the president of the Board of Pharmaceutical Science section, in your view, what opportunities exist for the Eastern Mediterranean Center for Excellence to build synergistic collaborations to support pharmaceutical education and science transformation? So what are the opportunities available? John, you can start.
I'll start, and then I will hand off to Giovanni maybe to talk about the science piece of this. I think that there are great opportunities here, and I would respond in this way. There is this 2025 Insight Board report that really, I think, identifies some needs and challenges. So I think one of the first sort of orders of business for this center to do would be to validate, look at those results from that Insight Board to see if those, in fact, meet your assessment of the needs of the region. And again, those included expanding CPD programs, strengthening competencies around leadership for students and young pharmacists, establishing a framework for advanced and specialized training. And I've heard multiple people here already talking about the impact of digital health and AI on education. This is facing, pharmacy education globally. And I think, the last thing here was really talking about collaborative research among the universities. So, let me just reflect also on what I think the Western Pacific and Southeast region have kind of started and what their priorities were. And this was based on them coming together, establishing essentially an executive committee, which has representatives from multiple universities of, kind of maybe 10 to 12 people, and sitting down and identifying priorities. In Southeast Asia, they came up with the concept. Their first priority was trying to harmonize competencies among the faculties of pharmacy and schools of pharmacy in Southeast Asia. And this is a large area that includes China and India. It was really trying to come up, what are the core competencies pharmacists should have in our region. And learning from each other, they came up with a core set of competencies, which has been published, and I think is a nice, one nice area to look at if this is an area you're interested in. The Western Pacific took a different approach. They identified what their priorities were, and what they identified were two areas. One is something called patient safety, and the FIP has worked with the World Health Organization, who's developed a set of competencies for learners, pharmacy students, actually medical students as well, on talking about what are the competencies needed to assure and expand patient safety and use of and understanding how medications contribute to this whole patient safety. The other area that they went into was substandard and falsified medication. They identified those are priorities. Again, two regions, two different kinds of priorities. But my encouragement is for you all to get organized with Rula and Mohamad as the lead and really bring together a group of individuals in forming an executive committee and begin to do some priority setting as kind of the first step. I'm going to turn things over to Giovanni to talk about science now.
Thanks, John, and it's great to be here and very excited to learn about the opportunities for the region now with this center. And as it was mentioned by several speakers before, I think there's a nucleus now of very highly capable institutions also in the research arena. They're complementary, and as it was mentioned, they have some strengths, and they're also looking forward to get some assistance on particular areas, including research. So I think having the exchange among those universities to help, let's say, in mentoring of faculty in particular areas where you need additional support. As a university administrator myself, I know it's very hard to build that up all internally. So if you have a network of institutions that can provide support, you're going to be able to meet the needs much faster than building it up internally. And I think the other part that I want to mention is taking advantage now of the FIP network, particularly in sciences. So my role is as chair of the FIP Board of Pharmaceutical Sciences. We have subgroups that are all very active across the globe, including in your region. So I just mentioned, for example, the National Institute of Public Health, Clinical Epidemiology and Toxicology, or INSPECT in Lebanon, has a lot of capacity. And I think they need to have the opportunity to work together synergistically with the center. They can bring in expertise, they can assist, and for early career academicians or researchers, there's the early career pharmaceutical group across FIP that is connected with the BPS. We also have specific special interest groups, for example, in pharmacy practice research. So there are other resources outside of just the immediate center structure that's available through the FIP network that I believe can really amplify and accelerate the benefits for the region as a whole.
Thank you, Giovanni. Lilian, add something?
Yes, I would like to add, by reflecting on Ali in the beginning mentioned the strength of the group that we have. I mean, the group is coming from the different schools, and the characteristic in the Eastern Mediterranean is that if you look at the different countries, many times there is an integrated ecosystem with schools having already at the national, regional aspect, at the national base, collaborations with health systems, hospitals, community pharmacies, and that's a strength for the Eastern Mediterranean region. And I would like to suggest that leveraging on that characteristic for the region to develop opportunities, models of how these ecosystems have been developed for pharmacy education. Maybe, and I would like to provide then the next step that may be also extending on how these ecosystem extensions are carried out by schools, not only for the patient-facing settings, the clinical aspects, but also what about industry, regulatory sciences in the pharma, then touching also on the point that Giovanni made, that how are pharmacy schools acting as leaders to maintain this ecosystem in pharmacy, both at the practice and the science aspect. I think that's something that could be explored in this region, and extend this then, of course, not only to education, but also on to postgraduate education and research.
Thank you, Lilian. Nadia, you want to add something?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. Of course, the Eastern Mediterranean region is a mosaic of opportunity, mosaic of opportunity and challenges. So across our 22 member states, the diversity of the context is striking from countries with advanced digital health infrastructure to others still rebuilding their health education system after conflict. So we currently facing like 16 humanitarian emergencies affecting more than 110 million people in the Emro region. So the instability disrupt the academic continuity, clinical training, and also access to a qualified faculty. Secondly, there is also a persistence pharmacy workforce imbalance. The number of pharmacists may be increased, but the skills in the primary care and pharmacovigilance and data-driven practice remain limited, and distribution is uneven between urban and rural areas. So all these challenges, it is appearing for also, it is positive for us, and also it is an opportunity in the same time. Third, our region also experienced digital readiness inequity, while in the UAE has achieved integration through Rayati and Malaffi and also Nabda. Many systems still operate in the isolation, preventing students from experience data-driven care model. Also, the burden of the chronic diseases and antimicrobial resistance calls for curricula that emphasize the prevention, patient counseling, and interprofessional teamwork rather than product focused learning. This is very important. So how can this center of excellence respond that it can act as a regional accelerator through 4 main tracks, through curriculum alignment with the FIP development goals 1 to 3, 9, and 12, and outcome-based competency framework. Also, fragility adapted education models, which is a blending learning and mobile simulation kits to sustain their training in crisis, and also a regional workforce data lab to provide evidence-based forecasting for pharmacists' supply and needs. And the most important, micro-credential and mutual recognition framework to speed regional mobility and recognition of the specialized skills. So this will it will become a collaborative hub, that our Center of Excellence, that connect academia, regulator, and industry in 4 particular opportunities we can look for it, which is data to practice consortium, linking the pharmacy school to national health information exchange. So like for us, Malaffi, Nabda, and also Rayati in UAE. So students learn from real-world data and evidence-based, real-world evidence-based within a clear governance structure. A regional simulation, also the second regional simulation, experiencing networking, sharing OSCE scenarios, skill stations, and also preceptor training models under the common quality assurance umbrella. The fragility capacity network, that creating a twinning program between university in a stable and fragile context to ensure continuity of pharmaceutical education during the crisis. And this is the main challenge for our region. Regional research clusters, which is joint project on antimicrobial resistance, chronic diseases, green pharmacy, sustainability, medicine supply resilience, these all. So globally proven models such as academia, industry gateway, and competency-based benchmarking can be adapted here to translate research into practice while nurturing the next generation of educators and innovators.
Thank you, Professor Nadia. I know this is you have great ideas and you will contribute very well to the Center for Excellence. The Center for Excellence serves as a platform for all institutions, academic and scientific, and also regulators to join and move on with the transformation in pharmacy education and pharmaceutical sciences. We will start, and the first is, as John mentioned, by forming a steering committee that identifies one or two priorities in pharmacy education and pharmaceutical science collaboration and research collaboration, as Giovanni mentioned. And then we start our activities and we expand our projects for further priorities. We know that at the beginning, the priorities were different from what we identified in the 2025 after 5 years from the initiation. Thank you, everyone, for your perspectives. I will move on to the second. Now, implementation. Looking ahead, what key areas of focus should the Eastern Mediterranean Center for Excellence consider in implementing the regional roadmap? And how might this align with the broader FIP priorities? From your perspectives as different section in the FIP, education, science, and regional president of the forum, what should we consider? What area of focus should be taken into consideration when we implement this Center for Excellence and aligning them with the broader FIP priorities? You want to start, John?
I think that, Professor Nadia really laid out a very broad and beautiful vision for where this regional center can go. I think, and I think she laid out many of the FIP priorities in her conversation around AMR, non-communicable diseases, which is going to be a big focus in FIP. It's still, heart disease is the #1 killer of people on this planet. And that's obviously a non-communicable disease that requires, team effort. Dr. Nadia talked about interprofessional education, which I think is critical in your institutions to really have pharmacists working with medical doctors, nurses, and others to combat some of these big problems. I think there's a real opportunity as well to work with YL and the regional forum, because they probably have a set of priorities as well for their regional forum. And I think where the centers of excellence can interface and work with the regional forum, there provides a real strength of effort and a collaboration where they I'm sure, and YL can share this, you have a set of priorities, and it would be nice for them to align at least some of them with the priorities for the Center of Excellence. And so I think there's a real opportunity here for there to be close collaboration between the regional forum and the Centers of Excellence.
Thank you. Wael,
Mohamad?
Yes. Yes, thank you so much, John. 100% you're right. First of all, we are, as the forum, we 100%, more than 100%, we support you guys as academic. It's a very important issue because, from education to practicing, it's a very important issue. to find our support, full support for all academic in our region, even in the whole world. But my point here, before that, let me explain that for you and add something. It's a very important. We found something. It's very make like a barriers. The first thing I see in the Middle East countries is language diversification. I always say that I don't want you speak English very well, but I do you speak pharmacy very, very well. And here I can add something. Yes, I don't, I'm not like telling you about your English. And this is a very, I see a lot of marvelous scientists, marvelous academic, professors, but they can't speak English, little bit. I don't care. Me as forum, I represent FIP speaks all languages. You know what I mean? It's a very important issue, John. First thing. So as this umbrella, we need to make it like a multilingual. Don't be like nervous. You can speak English very well. Forget about it. We are in the Middle East. We have Arabic, we have Farsi, we have Urdu. This is like a main 3 languages in our countries, in the Middle East country. Okay, so we can help Pakistani guys. They speak Urdu. Come on, we are here. We will speak instead of you, but just the science. That think about your science, and we will take care of you. For example, this is a very important issue. Second thing, when we are talking about sustainability, it's a very important, the ultimate goal for all of us. But here in our countries, we have, as I told you, marvelous researchers, but it's kind of like initiatives. We don't need more initiatives. We need to make it like a framework, like to be sustainable. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it will be like infectious everywhere, like umbrella. Inequalities, as Dr. Nadia, she said something, it's very important. We have at least 8 countries in our area suffering from humanitarian stuff. Palestinian, Yemen, and Somalia. So we need to work with all of those colleagues. We are working already with Palestinian guys here in Egypt about the universities. Come on, we are here with you. Yemen, even, we're going to start next week with them. And this is a very important issue. I don't want to talk too much, but my point here is, number one, don't be panic. Don't speak English very well. It's okay. We will take care of you in this umbrella. We will take care of you, your initiatives. We will make it like sustainable. Third thing, creating regional framework. We will talk to all accreditation bodies. You just lead and we are with you. That's what happened already. That's starting Dr. Rahal and Dr. Rula in the Jordan. What happened in the first meeting, like a regional meeting, it was in Jordan. Second one, it will be here in Egypt in November 25th, this November. It will be 60 universities. And Dr. Rahal and Dr. Rula, they will lead this. The third one, it will be in December in Lebanon. We will go to Lebanon, okay, to eat good apples and, to enjoy the weather there with Lebanon. And then we will go to to Kuwait in Jan. And we are welcoming for any invitation for any countries over our country. So that's it. We are helping you. You lead, and we are 100% supporting you. Thank you.
Dr. Rula, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rahal. I'm listening to all our colleagues, very nice ideas, and the steering committee definitely should be there. And people from the forum will help us a lot in bridging the gap between, the market and the education. So probably this is what we should think about. So I think the first thing to do is to make an action plan, let's say, and try to find a couple of, like Dr. Rahal was saying, couple of priorities, if you like. Just prioritize what we are doing and work on them. Also, we should think about faculty exchange. We can see that some, there is a possibility of faculty exchange, whether in research, as Giovanni was telling us just now, the importance of the science, of course, and the research is very important. And also other areas where, the students exchange as well. So I think we should focus, let's say at the beginning at least, on a couple of projects that we know it's going to be successful at the end of the day, and then promote them in order to, attract other universities. You have noticed that few universities actually up till now are joining, but we are hoping for more of them to do that. Again, the steering committee, I think we should think about adding not only academics for sure. I think from industry, I just saw a question now in the question panel. Dr. Nuruddin was asking about industry. In our countries, it's not only pharmacy practice, we concentrate on industry. So probably we should think about this. But again, very important to introduce the idea, like Dr. Wael was saying, try to introduce it in different areas. Because when we did this in Jordan, you remember, Dr. Rahal, some people didn't know the essence. They didn't know how lucky they are to be working under the umbrella of FIP, which is, a broad umbrella, which brought us all these things together. Thank you.
Yes, of course, and this center aims to gather all stakeholders, not only educators, but also regulators, scientists, researchers, and industries together for this transformation of pharmacy education and science in the region. We will work with local and regional associations that are interested in advancing pharmacy education and science. And what's done with Dr. Wael is he took the initiative to introduce the center in different countries, and this is very great step, and to make the center visible for everyone. Thank you. We don't have enough.
Can I add, Doctor? 1 minute?
1 minute, Nadi, because we don't have, I don't know, Dalia, you can control the time.
I can suggest also if we can do, this is, I agree that we have to do a roadmap which align tightly with the FIP development goals to ensure the global consistency while addressing regional realities. So we should focus on example on workforce competency accreditation, unified, which is DG 123, unified regional competency framework, stackable micro-credential, and also digital, and as we said, AI transformation, which is DG 9 and 12, integrate AI data analytics models using the HIE data sets as educational laboratories, also reliance and the crisis preparedness. This is very important, DG 10 and 13, embedded pharmacy in emergency and epidemic models, continuing protocol.
Thank you, Nadia. I know we have a lot of challenges and a lot of ideas. You will be an asset to this center.
Science to policy, as you said, the translation, which is quarterly policy briefing to ministries about based on the AMR. So with our aim in 2027, we should aim to every AMR pharmacy curriculum reference to at least we have 5 development goals with measurable KPIs for graduate outcomes, research productivity, and policy engagement.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know, Dalia, how much time do we still have?
We have just about 3 minutes.
So I will just, in 1 minute, Dr. Abir, from your perspective as a member in this UNESCO, FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellences, and as your institution, university, is member in this center, what do you think are how your institution will contribute and will benefit from this center in transforming education and science as a member?
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rahal. Ajma University, as a member of the FIP-UNESCO UNITWIN Center for Excellence in the AMR, we are proud to be part of this success center, and proud also to mention that the university, Ajma University, has been ranked number 12 in the Arab region per the QS ranking, and the pharmacy and pharmacology by subject, we are number 1 in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and as well as like been in the rank of 151 to 200 in the QS Global 2025 by subject ranking. So definitely there are a lot of things we can share and also exchange knowledge in. We aim to share our expertise in curriculum innovation, pharmaceutical research, industrial collaboration. I saw some questions from Dr. Ayman as well as from Dr. Aisha, talking about how this center can help and also how it can connect with the industry. Definitely, there are a lot of things we can share from expertise to be able to have it as a hub and share our knowledge with others and be able to work together. Faculty development, joint research projects, academic industrial partnership. We recently had an immersive room and VR labs, something that we can share technology and do transfer technology to be able to have exchange in workforce as well as collaboration in those areas to strengthen the education as well as the practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all panelists. Your contribution were great to this Center for Excellence. And I think Dalia now will wrap up the discussion.
Thank you so much, Professor Rahal. And hello, everybody. My name is Dalia Burgess, and I am Head of Programs and Provision at FIP. I'm absolutely delighted to be part of this esteemed panel discussion. And I know we're smack on time. Allow me just 1 minute to provide some overarching reflections on the amazing discussion that took place, and also to, out of honor and respect to over 550 participants that were online with us today from around the region and also around the world. Thank you so much for all of you for being part of this discussion. Really appreciate you being here. And for those listening in afterwards as well. Esteemed colleagues, a special thank you to the panelists today and all of our guests that are joining us online. As we really come to a close to this very insightful discussion, I just would like to take a moment to reflect on what we have heard about the successes and the challenges that are shaping pharmacy education and science in the EMR. And from what we've heard, and I'll do this very quickly, I've gathered a couple of really important keywords that were shared with amongst our panelists here. And whilst the center is about twinning or the pairing of schools of pharmacy, I think that there is so much excitement in this virtual room that has been expressed about cluster twinning. I've just made this term up as I was listening to you all, which is it's more about bringing much more than just a couple of institutions together. It's about bringing one to many or many to many. And we know from FIP's reports and various activities that focus on the EMR amongst other regions, that pharmacy schools have shown remarkable resilience, innovation, and leadership in this region. And like their global counterparts have responded really amazingly to the COVID-19 pandemic, to other emergencies, wars and conflicts in certain countries, and have done so rapidly and with significant adaptations, focusing on the continuity of education and supporting the workforce as well as conducting relevant research. So we are excited as FIP to provide this new platform to bring schools of pharmacy together. And I know there's a couple of questions in the Q&A about how do you join. Quickly, if you are an individual pharmacist from somewhere around the world, scientist or educator, and you're not yet an FIP member, I invite you to have a look on our website to become a member. If you are representing an academic institution, do write to us, and my colleagues will write the email address in the chat box. Find out if your institution is an FIP academic institutional member. If not, find out more and find out how you can join so that you can be automatically engaged and included in the Center for Excellence, as this is a member benefit for your institution. So I think, to wrap up, let's not carry forward just insights. I really think that these reflections have to turn into actions, and together we will be able, as Catherine said earlier, shoulder to shoulder, achieve the objectives as an evolution and also as a transformation in the region. I'm delighted to have been part of this. Thank you all so much for being here. But I also owe you all a couple of announcements for those that are staying on the line with us. If you can help me out, Genuine, with the follow-up slides. Thank you so much. To find out more about the program, here's a QR code, and you can also visit us through our website. Thank you. And for those of you that want to watch more of our events, join future events, do go on events.fip.org. Thank you. And as I've mentioned earlier, if you're not yet a member, Join the FIP family and find out more through our website. We would be delighted to give you more information about your benefits and the membership fees. And finally, we would like to ask you to consider joining us at the FIP World Congress, which will take place in Montreal, Canada, between the 30th of August and the 2nd of September. Next year's theme will be One Health, One Pharmacy, Bridging Science, Practice and Education. Sounds familiar already? Sounds like the Center for Excellence under UNITWIN and the UNESCO program. And this here is our advocacy campaign. FIP's advocacy campaign to support FIP's various activities and programs under this one banner: Think Health, Think Pharmacy, Think Health, Think UNITWIN, Think NCDs, Think Self-Care, Think Regional Forums, think of anything that might connect pharmacists and scientists and educators together. With this, I think this is my last slide. Thank you so much for attending, and greetings from around the world.